Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name's Dr. Ghost and today we're going to be taking a look at my top 5 most recommended GXP ships, okay? My top 5 recommended global XP ships is another way of saying it. In case you guys are wondering, what is global XP? Well, it is this currency right up here, this little green stuff, okay? If you want to actually do what I just did, you click Y, okay, and then you scroll over. Okay, you can see all your currencies here, and you can actually acquire, you can convert Elite XP that you earn on your ships to Global XP by using doubloons. Like, for example, I can convert these 150 doubloons to 3,000 GXP. Okay, so, yeah. There's also Steel, and there's Premium Time. But today we're going to be covering GXP, and we're going to be covering some Global XP ships that you can buy in the in-game store. So if you head on over to the ships tab, some nations have global XP ships. So let's start with the United States of America. You have the Massachusetts you can buy for global XP. You have the Alabama you can buy for global XP. Both of these ships are both in the same class. They're both South Dakota class battleships, and we'll go over that later. There are some minor differences to both of them. For the Japanese, you've got the Hayate, the Udachi, you have the Key, the Isuma you can buy for 750,000 global XP, the Atago. For the Germans, or sorry, for the United Kingdom, we're not there yet, but yeah, for the United Kingdom, we've got the Monarch. We have I think that's it, just the Monarch for 750k GXP. For the Germans, you have the ZF6, which is a destroyer. Elbing, a destroyer, but it's 1.4 million Elite XP since it's one tier higher. It's tier 8, so you got to earn a lot more GXP. Okay, we're just going to go through all these though. Odin, you can get the Tirpitz for GXP. Moving on to the French, you can get the Flandre, the Republique, the Champagne. You can get the Gascon. Moving on to the USSR, you can get the Pyotr Bagration, the Kutuzov, the Stalingrad. You guys see the point, right? There's lots of GXP ships. And if you guys are wondering how to earn GXP, well, the best way of doing it is playing your tier 6 and 7 premiums. And what you can do, and the reason why I'm saying play your tier 6 and 7 premiums, it's because tier 6 and 7 premiums get the best benefit from the economy in this game. They make the most credits, the most XP, and the most global XP, okay? Now, you can put on, also to help with your bonuses, you can convert some of your boosters and put on these global XP boosters here. Epic global XP boosters. As you guys can see, global XP per battle made plus 400%. So it's a no-brainer to put on these little flags here. Also, Suzuya is one of these global XP ships I did get. Okay? Pretty cool. Now, anyway, with all the how to get everything out of the way, I just wanted to show you guys how to get all this stuff. Now we're going to move on to what ships I recommend. So, starting off at number 5, the 5th ship I recommend getting is none other. This is if you like torpedo boats, okay? Now, I don't have it, but I do want to get it eventually. But if you really do like torpedo boats, then, well, the tier 7 Japanese premium destroyer, the Udachi, is a great ship for you. You can also get this ship for 17,500 doubloons if you don't want to grind out the GXP, but the thing that is so special about the Udachi is its torpedoes. It's a torpedo boat, but it also has some pretty damn good guns, okay? The guns are 127mm 5-inch guns, really nothing special there, but what is so special about these guns is they do a lot more damage than the regular Japanese guns. 2150 maximum HE shell damage, okay? And then if we take a look at her tech tree counterpart, the Kagero, all right, the Kagero's guns only do a whopping 1800 maximum damage. Okay, so you have a lot more damage on your main battery guns. So right off the bat, if you need to use your guns, you can use them on the Udachi. Okay, the Udachi is well, it has decent guns. Okay, now moving on to the best part of the Udachi is the torpedoes. The torpedoes are absolutely disgusting. 20,000 maximum damage, and that's just base. 10-kilometer range base. If you were to put a torpedo torpedo commander on, like, for example, Raizo Tanaka, you'd be able to get these torpedoes out to wherever you want, and you'd even have more damage. So, Udachi is stupid good. It's still very strong if you are a torpedo sort of person. If you like torpedo boats, Udachi is a must-have. I'm personally not much of a torpedo guy, so I really don't care too much about getting the Udachi right away. I still want to get some other GXP ships, but I know a lot of you out there do like torpedo boats, and that's why the Udachi is taking my number 5 spot on the list, okay? Now, moving on to the number 4 spot would be none other. I had to think about this, but it would probably be for gunboat players, you know, but it probably has to go higher on my list. I think you guys know what I'm talking about. But for cruisers, all right, we covered a destroyer, so let's do a cruiser. For the number 4 spot, I think the Isuma. Where is the Isuma? It's right in the Japanese line. Isuma, it actually got a lot of buffs recently. The Isuma used to be really bad. Like, when it first came out, nobody liked it. I didn't like it. I ended up selling it because it was not my thing. But now I kind of want to pick it up again. I really do. The Isuma is, well, it's a giant battle cruiser. I mean, look at it. It's huge for a cruiser. It's got big guns. It's basically the Japanese Alaska, okay? Now, there is also, at Legendary tier, there is the Yoshino. The Yoshino is an Isuma, okay? So, literally, there's a Legendary tier version of this ship, but it's Legendary tier. It's hilarious. So, yeah, tier 7 premium cruiser, the Isuma. I don't know what you want to call it, super cruiser. I guess we'll call it a super cruiser, because it's not a battle cruiser, I don't think. It's more of a super cruiser, because it doesn't have battleship guns. Well, I mean, they kind of are. 310mm guns. These are, what, 12-inch guns? They're pretty damn big, and they're pretty damn spicy. So, anyway, yeah, the thing that makes the Isuma so special is the guns. The guns are phenomenal. 5,100 maximum HE shell damage. Fire chance is pretty damn good as well. The AP is also pretty damn good as well. The AA is good. The maneuverability is good. The only thing that's bad about the Isuma is the turning circle radius and the rudder shift. It's not good for a cruiser, but it's got some pretty good speed. You've got decent concealment, and of course the hit points. For a cruiser, you are stupid good for hit points. Taking a look at the loadout, you got 3 heals. You got all the things. Oh yeah, speaking of loadout, I forgot to mention the Udachi, the top 5 pick, or the number 5 pick on my list, also has a torpedo reload booster. I forgot to cover that. So that's another cool thing about the Udachi. At least from what I remember. Doesn't it have a torpedo reload booster? I don't even... I have to actually go back and see. Does it? Or am I thinking of another ship? Yeah, it does have a torpedo reload booster. Okay, I wasn't crazy. Now, heading back over to what makes the Isuma so good. It's just the guns. The guns and the armor. Like, the armor is also really good as well. 27mm of bow armor and stern armor absolutely everywhere. This armor, you can ricochet shells, or at least armor-piercing shells, up to 15 inches. So anything like Bismarcks, Vanguards, there's a lot of 15-inch guns out there, and you can bow tank them all day, 6 ways from Sunday. So, yeah, you can have a good time. Izuma's got good guns, good armor, very good AA, all-around solid cruiser. I'm actually going to end up picking this thing up, I think, next. I wanted to get the Udachi next, but then they decided to buff the Isuma, so I'm probably going to buy this ship next for GXP. So, yeah, overall, it's going to take my top 5 pick here, or my number 4 pick on my top 5 list. The Isuma, really solid. I actually do want to pick it up. It got buffed recently, the guns are a lot better, and I'm really intrigued, man. I really am. Now, moving on to the top 3 here. I'm going to put the 3rd spot. We haven't gone over a battleship yet, but I think we're going to save the battleship for number 1. But I think we're going to go with another destroyer. Now, this is a destroyer that I'm going to put in the middle because a lot of people aren't going to like this destroyer, but I absolutely love it. I would put it higher, but I need to also think of you guys a little bit too. So, Freezeland, easily. It's a stupid gunboat. I know a lot of you guys love torpedo boats, but I know there's a lot of you that love gunboats. And if you love gunboats in any capacity, Freezeland is a must-have. Freezeland is fucking fun. It's just fun with a capital F. It is so much fun. And the thing that makes Freezeland so fun is look at that reload time. 1.8 second reload. It is stupid. You can get these guns cycling like no other destroyer. It is stupid fun. So as you guys can see, you got one 5-inch gun mount in the front. It's a double turret. and you got one 5-inch gun mount in the back. And all you do is you go broadside at people and just spam shells all day, every day, 6 ways from Sunday. You make people cry of pain inside. It's just the best. Death by 1,000 cuts. And we've covered the Freezeland on the channel a couple times. You guys could probably go back and watch some reviews. I have reviews, I think, up for this ship. So you guys could just search it up on my channel or go back in time a little bit, and you could find it. Also, another thing that makes the Freezeland so damn good is the AA. The AA defense is one of the best, if not the best, for any Tier 7 premium or any Tier 7 destroyer for that matter at the tier. It is stupid good. 200 and about 300 average damage per second for AA on a destroyer is ridiculous. Then you look at the survivability on my build. I've got 20,000 hit points, so I can just tank a few hits. Pretty nice. And of course, the maneuverability is pretty solid. It's a destroyer, and the concealment, pretty solid. All around, this destroyer is super fun. It has no torpedoes, I forgot to mention. You don't have any torpedoes, but what you make up for those torpedoes is stupid firepower. I mean, if you guys don't believe me, just go watch some Freezeland videos out there. I have some, other people have them. This thing is fun. It is so much fun. Unbelievable gunboat. It's the best gunboat at Tier 7 in my opinion. There are some contenders, but I think Freezeland still is the king of gunboats. In a straight-on gunfight with anything, you're going to dominate. It's just that much fun. Also, it has sonar too, and it's not half bad sonar. 4.4 kilometer sonar range, right? So yeah, Freezeland is taking my number 3 spot on my top 5 list of global XP ships. I absolutely love this thing. One thing too I want to mention is I'm sure you guys are going to have different opinions on global XP ships. Some of you guys might put the Loyang in this list. Some of you guys might put the Gascon in this list. You guys can make your own top 5 lists in the comments, but I have to also, you know, put my opinions in the consideration box as well. And Freezeland, man, takes my number 3 spot. Now we're moving on to the top 2. These are by far my most, well, they're just my most favorite global XP ships that I have currently. And they're both battleships. And they're both American battleships. I love them so much. And that's both the Alabama. So, the Alabama's taking my number 2 spot, okay? The Alabama is taking my number 2 spot. Alabama. This was the original American global XP ship. I think the Alabama was the first global XP ship to be released for the United States. But it's super good. It's a very solid ship. If you like American battleships, or if you like battleships that are just snipers, the Alabama's for you. These guns are they're just fantastic. They're fantastic guns. You got good armor, good AA, good maneuverability, good speed. Everything about this ship is good. There's nothing bad about this ship. Nothing. There's literally nothing bad about it. So, if you take a look at the specs, I mean, you got 66,000 hit points. Pretty good, but the thing that's so good about this is look at your torpedo protection. 49% torpedo damage protection. That's 50% damage off incoming torpedoes. That's insane. That is insanely good. And not a lot of people talk about it. The South Dakotas have some of the best torpedo protection in the game, okay? Also, the artillery. Let's talk about the artillery, right? You got 406 millimeter, 16-inch, 45 caliber guns. These are fantastic guns. They are phenomenal. And there's nothing to say about them, really. We've talked about this plenty of times on the channel. These guns are fantastic. And they're very accurate when you build into it. It's very accurate. Also, looking at the AA. Obviously, the AA is fantastic. Americans, ever since Pearl Harbor, they decided to outfit their ships with all the anti-aircraft they could. And Alabama was one of those ships. So, I mean, just look at the AA stats, guys. 187, 191, 151, that all stacks. The AA is fantastic on the Alabama. And the armor. The armor is also really good as well. Are you guys seeing what I'm saying? You guys getting what I'm putting down here? There's nothing really bad about the Alabama, except the secondaries. Obviously. Who's going to build for secondary range? Secondaries are a joke in this game. And they don't do a whole lot of nothing. Unless you're a Schlieffen or a German battlecruiser. But... yeah, Alabama. Armor is very good. You got 32 millimeters everywhere. You can bow tank 16-inch guns like it's nothing. The only downside, I would say, though, is the HE spam. Yeah, you're going to get HE spammed a lot. That's just how Tier 7 battleships are. Or any battleships, for that matter. But, also, taking a look at the... what was I going to look at? Oh, yeah, the maneuverability. I haven't even talked about that yet. Look at the maneuverability for the ship. 700-meter turning circle radius for a battleship is very good. That's pretty damn spicy. That's almost cruiser-esque rudder shift for a, or not rudder shift, but turning circle radius for a battleship. And the speed is also pretty good as well. 25 knots you can get up to if you run your speed flag and all that. And of course, your rudder shift, well, it's pretty average for a battleship. Nothing too good there, but really, you don't notice the rudder shift that much because this ship turns so well. So, yeah, I mean, maybe there's a little bit of bias here, but really there's not as well. Like, I have a bunch of statistics to back what I'm saying up. I love American ships, don't get me wrong, but there's a reason why I love American ships. Not just because I'm an American myself, but because they're so good, okay? It's an undeniable fact that American ships in this game are very good. I'm not saying that every other nation isn't good. There's some very good ships out there. We covered in our, top 3 spots. But there is definitely an argument to be made about American ships being some of the best ships in the game. Alabama being one of them. The Alabama is a pretty old ship, too. It's about 3 years old. It's been in the game for a long time. And, well, it has to take my number 2 spot. This ship is great. I thought I wouldn't like this ship too much because I was like, yeah, I'm never going to get it. I already got the Massachusetts. Why would I want the Alabama? But the reason why, I like the Alabama, and the reason being is because, well, there's just nothing really bad about it, except the fact that it's susceptible to anything another battleship is susceptible to, and that is HE spam and stuff like that. You do have a lot of superstructure, but then again, there's a lot of battleships at this tier that have a lot of superstructure. So, overall, Alabama, it's taking my number 2 spot on my top 5 list. And now, for the moment you've all been waiting for. The number 1 spot on the list. It's actually the sister ship to the Alabama, the Massachusetts. This ship, I absolutely love it to this day. I don't play it as much anymore, but when I need to get a good battleship game or a lot of secondary hits, well, Massachusetts, oh my gosh, this ship is so much fun. It is probably the most versatile battleship at tier 7. You don't hear that a lot, but it is. It's the most versatile, meaning it can do a lot of things, right? You can build into secondaries for the ship. You can build into guns for the ship. You can do both. The I keep saying Alabama. The Massachusetts, man, we're going to talk about it a little bit more in the specs in the loadout here. So, well, really nothing else to say about the loadout. You could put on spotter and all that. And if you want to go secondaries, you can on the Massachusetts. We'll go into that as well. But for the survivability, we've got 69 giggity thousand hit points. And also, just like the Alabama, remember, the Massachusetts is a South Dakota class battleship. So is the Alabama. You have very good torpedo damage protection, 46%. Now looking at the guns, you have the same exact guns as the Alabama. These are the same 16-inch, 45 caliber, Mark 6 300 or 406 millimeter guns. They're fantastic. They're fantastic guns. Now moving on to the AA, right? The AA is also stupid good. We've talked about this. The AA is very good. It's a little worse, I think, than the Alabama, but it's still good. There's no denying that. Also, the maneuverability. It's, I think, it's actually the same. Same maneuverability. We've talked about this in the Alabama portion. But the Massachusetts, very good maneuverability. All around, this ship is solid. It's got good maneuverability. Check. How is the AA? Very good. Check. How's the artillery? Fantastic. Check. How's the survivability? Fantastic. Checked. How's the armor? Good. Same as the Alabama. We've talked about this. Check. Also, did I forget to mention that these battleships have a below-water citadel? That's just another thing good about these battleships. At close range, you're damn near impossible to citadel. And another thing I forgot to mention is the secondaries. Oh, you guys notice, I've only got a 7-kilometer secondary range. Well, that's because currently on my Massachusetts, I'm running a gun build. I was deciding to run with a accuracy build on my Massachusetts. But if you guys wanted to, you guys could easily swap over to a secondary build. And look where these secondaries go out to. Right, if you take your main battery mod 2 off and you plop on your secondary battery mod, the secondaries go out to 10.5 kilometers. Yeah, you do sacrifice, though. When you do this, you're sacrificing a bit of your gun power, but you still have your maneuverability, plus some. You get an extra 2 knots on your speed there, 27.5 knots, and you still keep everything else, pretty much. And you also get a better torpedo damage protection as well. When you put this captain on, Willis Lee, you get an extra 2% to your torpedo damage protection. So you got a 50% on the dot torpedo protection. And if you take a look, I mean, look at the secondary range. 10.5 kilometer secondaries. See all these 5-inch guns on the side? You guys see them? those double turrets, all of those babies are going to be popping off on people. That's what, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 5-inch guns popping off. Lots of fun, man. Like, I can't say it enough. The Massachusetts, it's the most versatile ship in the game. You can build it for secondaries. You can build it for main guns. You can build it for both. You can do some secondary stuff, and you can put some main battery stuff on. You got good armor, good maneuverability, good speed, good everything. Like, what is there else to say, people? Are you not convinced yet? Hello? So, yeah. Anyway, that is going to conclude my list of my top 5 global XP ships that I recommend to you guys, and just that I recommend personally. I absolutely love these ships. You guys, of course, are probably going to have your own different lists. That is, of course, your guys' prerogative. You guys can put your lists in the comments below. But for me, man, it's just, yeah, Massachusetts takes my number 1 spot. Absolutely love this ship. Still love it to this day. And it also is my most played ship. Look at my XP in it. I've got 3.2 million elite XP in this ship. It is super fun. And, well, maybe I might have convinced some of you guys to, well, maybe get some of these ships here. So, anyway, with all that out of the way, I hope you all did enjoy today's little video. If you guys did, go down there and hit that like button. It does help out if you guys did like the video. And, of course, hit that subscribe button. Become a subscriber today, because we are trying to get ever so closer to our next milestone. We're always trying to grow here on Dr. Ghost Games. But anyway, I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your weeks, and I will catch you all in the next one. Peace out. Stay healthy, as always.